My name is Mike Sullivan. I'm a former IRS agent and teaching instructor. Welcome to my YouTube station. It's the home of the 5-minute or less video. I can tell you everything you need to know about IRS and the subjects I'm speaking about. I've worked about, 10,000 cases. I've been doing this since 1973. I'm a national expert in IRS resolution matters. I've been on 10 or 12 major TV stations asking my opinion on subjects. So I'm kind of the gospel according really to IRS. So I can help you with any situation, in fact, that you have. I started this station for 3 reasons. So you can get inside information from a former IRS agent with probably more experience than anyone in the nation. Since I've been doing this for about 50 years. Also, I like to educate you into things that you need to know, and really number 3 and most important, so you don't get ripped off. There's a lot of people out there who are in fancy offices and they work a number of cases, but they've never worked anywhere near the cases our firm has worked, and we really know IRS so well, and we really tell you the truth. I don't have to wear a fancy suit because my fancy suit really is up in my head. I just do these videos at home and pop them out. Today I want to talk to you about how to win an IRS tax audit. We have former IRS agents on staff and who actually are appellate agents, revenue agents, office auditors, and there's definitive things that you can do to win the audit. Some of these things are just really easy and things you need to know, but I'm going to go through a list from my head. First of all, when you get a letter from the IRS, if it's a simple case, take care of it yourself. Don't be alarmed at the audit. I'm not an alarmist. I never have been. Relax. You'll really get over this. If it's a simple matter, like I said, you take care of it. If it's a matter and you have skeletons in your closet, you need to hire somebody else, whether it's us or a firm that you're comfortable with. You need for someone to defend you really in that matter. If you're going to represent yourself in these issues, you want to make sure you have your records put together in an orderly fashion and present them to the agent. As a former agent, when someone gave me records, whether they were all there or not, but just put them together very orderly, they look neat and organized, there was something about selling yourself to the agent that you had these two, or I think, for number 4, where I'm at in this is you don't have to have all your records. If you have about 80% of them, you're allowed to reconstruct your returns. I'll give you a perfect example. My last audit was a big painting contractor. He didn't have any of his records. I don't know what the hell the guy did. He ate them. He smelled too much paint. Whatever the hell he did. So what we did is we reconstructed the returns. That is, we looked at the bank statements and we gave them to him. He says, the checks, and we looked at the vendors he had, and we went ahead to the vendor and we got receipts from the vendors on how much that he in fact spent on expenses. So there's ways that you can go ahead and show IRS if you don't have perfect records, and no one has perfect records to show you have those expenses. So you want to put a nice, neat, organized file together. You can reconstruct your returns. You can look at the Cohen rule, which says if you do have expenses, IRS needs to look at those, and you're allowed to reconstruct them. And number 4, and really important, you can kind of negotiate when the agent comes back with this and says, well, this is what we found. There is a give or take with these auditors. You can say, well, listen, why don't you give me this and I'll concede that. And that's why having former agents represent you, we know how that negotiation goes. And one thing that you have over this person to win the audit is, remember, it's not winning 100% of the audit. It could be winning 90 or 80 or something reasonable. Don't go say, oh, I'm going to win at 100%. It's not that at all. It's negotiating what you think is fair. The most important thing is you can take your case to appeals. Appeals we call the Santa Claus of IRS. The reason we do is once you go ahead and protest or you send a letter to the agent you don't agree, you want to go to appeals, IRS doesn't want this case going to court, so they're more than likely to settle really in the appeals division. Know that. They're just not going to settle because you're just blowing smoke up their butt. You have to have really definitive documentation to win the case, but they're a lot more likely to concede and give in than the local agent. A lot of times you'll find local agents really stiff, and some of them stick, and some of them are really jerks. They really are. They stick to every letter of the law. The nice thing about winning your case is going to appeals, they have more common sense. They've been around a long time, and that's where you go ahead and get to go ahead really and win your case. Remember, winning your case isn't necessarily winning 100% of the case. It's about settling for something that's reasonable, and if it's reasonable, go ahead and sign. One of your key goals in doing your own representation, if you are, which I don't recommend, it's a big case, is making sure your goal is for them only to audit 1 year and not to expand the audit. That's absolutely huge. So you want to make sure the agent, as much as they can, will go ahead and close the audit after 1 year. Anyway, we're available for representation, so those are some of the tips to win. Remember, you can always go to appeals. When you find the first agent just giving you a tough time, just say, listen, close the audit out, go ahead, just give me your letter and I'll go ahead and appeal and take it further. You have that option, and my chance, you're going to see how much you can win by going to appeals. Anyway, thank you much. If you need to use this, you'll find my information below. We have loads of experience in the IRS audit area. Like I said, we've worked in the appellate division, revenue agents. We have tons of experience in this area. Anyway, thank you for listening. If this information was good, give me a subscription. Leave me a comment. You want me to do a YouTube on something? Happy to do that, but subscription's big. I look to hear from you. Thank you.